Welcome to live. I am Keith. I have a whiteboard over my shoulder. I have finally got my hands on the Insta360 camera. This is the one from B&H, but guess what? Right when it was lost and canceled and refunded, guess what else came in the mail? So Amazon found my lost Insta360 Link, and it is here, so that is very interesting. Let me just check my audio here and make sure it's not just my lips moving. Testing, sounds like it's good. So got my lapel mic on my pocket, my DJI mic. So just FYI, we'll be doing some unboxings tonight. So the plan is to unbox the 360. I've never had it set up yet in the studio. So we're going to try to unbox this live and hook it up live. I don't know how that's going to go. There is no post-show tonight. I just got all the way back from Seattle. I got to go to the Seattle Seahawks game, the opener at Lumen Stadium in Seattle. Quite exciting time. Got a chance to go with some good friends of mine and did not get back in town till about 2 o'clock today. Got a lot of the work done Monday early before I left to go on the road, but you know, obviously doing a live stream, there's prep before you go live. So hopefully it sounds good and hopefully it looks good. And so let me know in the comments tonight and we'll just say hi to some people here in the chat. First of all, let me just say this. If you're not subscribed, you can't chat unless you've subscribed for 5 minutes. I've turned that on because it's hard for me to monitor the chat the whole time I'm live, as well as do things here in the studio that people are coming to the live shows for. So if you have never been here before, I'm Keith. This is Life Journey Production Studios. I want to welcome you. And again, I hope you will subscribe here to the channel. There's lots of little benefits to subscribing, and that is you get alerts if you hit the bell. If you hit the like, that helps share it with other people. It helps the algorithm and helps my channel grow. And then if you use some of the links in the description below, like for the Insta360 camera and the Facecam, then that helps me as well, and I appreciate that very, very, very much. So again, this is going to be an unboxing night and a setup night of the Insta360 Link camera, and we're going to get to that here just momentarily, so hang on for that. Also, I have a box that came in the mail. It is huge. I do not know what's in this, and I can say that the person who sent this box to me is in the chat tonight, and if that person wants to reveal themselves, they can. But a shout out to, let's just say, the channel name has changed for this individual. So again, thank you so much for that. We're going to unbox that here in a minute, but first let me do this. I just dropped my Wacom pen. There it is. I dropped my Wacom tablet pen, and that's what I use to pop the chat up, as well as a macro. So thank you guys for joining me. Let's jump right in. Turn the chat on the air, and there's my little note to start tonight about my trip. So just want to let you guys know that that's why I'm not doing a post show tonight. So I will be doing a post show next week, and already got an idea for what I want to do there. So I hope you will join me for that. Let's just say hi to a few people here, and get my mouse over here so I can get back up here to the top of the chat. So gonna say hi to Freddie here, as always. Good to have you here, Freddie. He was here as an early bird. We got a chance to talk before that. And then shortly after that, you have this guy, Tech for Fun. So again, thank you for joining me. And we have, let's see who else we have here. Let me scroll down. And if you want some clues on where the box came from, you can look in the chat tonight. Also saw Hank from Stop and Think, and so please check that out. Now, I did put in the link below some of the most recent videos from some of the regulars. Hank, I did not put any of your videos on there. I'll have to pop over your channel and see if there's any videos, and I'll post your most recent video in the chat tonight, or in the comments tonight. So again, go out there. I have a video there from Tom Buck, who has popped into the channel every so often, and he's a big influence of mine. I love his channel, as well as Tony, I have a link to his, one of his videos. He's been doing a number of videos on a particular security device for you to browse the web. So check that out. That's in the link below. Also have a video there from DJ Ware. That's in the bottom as well. And he's talking about how to do a network, I guess, for streaming MP3s. So you can check that out. And then there's one more there. I'm racking my brain right now. I can't think who that is, but please check those out. And then I also will put a link there tonight to TVJ as well, one of his most recent videos. So you can just check out those videos if you're watching this delayed or watching it live. They will be in the chat below. So again, hi, Hank. Good to have you. And then there is TVJ, thanks for joining me. He's got a channel as well, so pop over there. And one of the things I am going to dedicate some time here in my lives for anybody that joins me and becomes a regular is I am going to talk about some of the things that they're doing here on my channel in the months to come as we go into the new year. So make sure you stay tuned for that. So, and I'm watching your channels. And again, I will try to check out everybody that's in the chat tonight and see if you have a channel that I can check out. Freddie says he loves the Skycam. Thanks, Freddie. And the Skycam is just simply, instead of popping the chat on the screen, I have my Facecam that plays off and on during the intro video. So if you watch my intro video or just have it playing in the background, if you turn around, probably about, it's a 7-minute intro video, and I think I'm on the air with my Skycam, probably about 3 of those 7 minutes, 2 to 3 of those 7 minutes. So good to have you here. I think I already said hi to DJ Ware, but there his hello to everybody on the screen. And we talked about his channel Tech for Fun has been to Lumen Field. Yeah. So I watched the, let's talk about that here for just a second. Let me scroll down here, see what else is happening here in the chat. I'll come back to that here in just a second. Want to say hi to David. That's the other person. I have David's most recent video that he released on his channel. The link is in the descriptions below. And again, I go over to David's channel to learn about different things. And he talked about a new lens that came out. I'm looking for my adapter and I don't see it. Somewhere I have a Viltrox adapter. Actually, I think I'm using it on my camera 1. So I have a Viltrox adapter there, and they just came out with a new lens. So if you'd like to check that out, check out David's channel for that. Again, that link is in the description below. So David, there's a shout out for your channel. All right, one of my lights off. Yeah, it's kind of sorry. Thanks, good catch. This is my normal setup. I thought it looked kind of weird. And then the other setup is for me turning around and unboxing. So nice catch. I appreciate that. That was right there. Another little chat letting me know my lights are funky. So thank you for catching that. Apologize for those guys that have been listening since the beginning of this video. Let's just see if there's anybody else here. And then I'm going to go back and try to catch up with the chat. Kyo Polka's here. He says, will you test the camera live online and stream the image? My plan is to test the camera on the live show, and I should be able to show the desktop. I've never used the camera before, so to answer that question it depends if we get stuck tonight, but I will be unboxing this, and I am going to try to test it live. So we'll see how that goes. I'm crazy for doing these things live and not playing with them ahead of time, but it's also gives you an idea of what the experience is like. Now, I have the software already downloaded. I haven't installed it on my laptop, but I have installed it on my PC just so in case we run into a hiccup on my laptop, I can switch over to my PC. And I also have a USB-C cable already hooked up to my PC, but I also use my PC for my Facecam, so I'm not sure it will do 2 cameras at the same time, but I can unplug my Facecam before we do that, and I'll show you what that picture looks like, and then I'm going to show you hopefully what the picture looks like in that new Insta360 link. So let's clear that off the screen. Let's see. Anybody else here? Looks like Tech for Fun. Okay, here we go. So Joe is letting us know that he was formerly Conjoling Technologies, and Joe is now Tech for Fun. So that is Joe, if you've been on the channel before, and he is here with us again. I will let the person in the chat reveal himself because someone sent me this giant box of stuff. I have no clue what's in here. I was told does not in the chat tonight have a glitter bomb. We're going to open this up tonight. So don't miss that. I don't know what the motivation is. I understand the idea of sending things to each other, and I understand the idea of gifts, and I'm quite honored to have received that stuff in the box, and I'm looking forward to see what's in there. So, oh, and there it is. Joe reveals that he sent the box. I've been watching the chat, Joe, just to make sure everything is cool with that. So I want to go back here just for a second. Before we get unboxing, again, I'm so sorry for those of you that want to dive right into unboxing this, but I just want to say that I got a chance to see Russell Wilson come back to Seattle and play for the very first time. I'm going to just say this is not a sports channel, so we'll just end with this. The booers were out in force, and the Seattle Seahawks won by 1 point. A number of times, the Denver Broncos should have won that game, and I'm a big Seattle Seahawks fan, but they had a couple fumbles right by the end zone, and then they missed the final kick from, I think it was like 64-yard attempt. Crazy. Fourth down with a few seconds left. Timeouts left, and they went ahead and tried that kick and missed it just wide. Had enough distance, but it didn't get through the goalpost. So that's where I was. I just got back in town this afternoon, so I apologize. Again, no post show. Now, I do have the whiteboard over here, so if we can, we're going to test the whiteboard feature of the Insta360 Link. And again, this is quite an interesting camera. I bought this with my own money. This is not sponsored. They did not send me this. The closest I've ever had to not spending my own money is when people use my associate Amazon links below. And anytime you use those, I appreciate it because we do get some money back. You pay the same when you purchase through those links, but you also support the channel. And so I try to use those funds. They come to me in certificates, and then I use that to offset the cost of the camera. Now, when I did buy this Amazon version, it got lost like 12 days ago in the mail, and then it suddenly appeared after the new one got here. So this one, I actually used a coupon, but it's since been refunded. So I'm either going to purchase this for a client that I have, or I will just send it back this week. I'm not going to turn it around because the label's there. So, and then this one I ordered from B&H, and it wasn't on B&H prior to me ordering it the first time. But when I went back to order it, it was. I do not have affiliate relationship with B&H. You can do an affiliate if your state supports that, but I'm not an affiliate with B&H Photo, but I did order this, and they're always great. It came in like 3 days from the time I ordered it, and I have it. So we're going to unbox that here momentarily. But again, let me just catch up here in the chat. You guys are chatting away here, so give me a second here. I answered Freddie's question about the Skycam, and there is a Skycam today. I'll pop that up. And I did use, oh, I missed it. There is a Skycam today. Let's see, anything else here? Let's see. I'm not sure what this means. Joe, what is that name tag from? If that's talking about... if I have a name tag somewhere, I don't think I have a name tag on. So I have a little bit of runny nose tonight, coming from the Seattle side of the mountains and being back over here. So He asked earlier if I'd opened the box, and I have not opened that box from him. It is still sealed with tape. I did not open it and retape it. That's the original tape. It's been here probably for 6 days. Let's see. Here's where he said that it's not a glitter bomb. See, anything else here that I need to answer? Again, highs from everybody. I think I've said hi to everybody. Also, there is a slight lip sync issue, but not bad. Okay, so I can fix that. Let's just go in here, and I will add. Let's try that. And you can let me know if my lips are in sync now. I did add a little bit of lip sync delay. I will match that on my other microphone, though I have no clue what that's going to be like. I haven't had any lip sync, but it comes down to latency. Let's see here. And then DJ Ware clarified that his video that I have in the links below that's from his channel is about that particular topic right there. So streaming a podcast. And so that was quite curious for me. I use a program called Libsyn. You set up all your streaming locations. You upload your still image. You upload your files. They give you kind of a web browser specifically for your podcast. And I use that for my wife's More About Birth podcast. I upload the MP3, and then I decide when it wants to go out right then when I upload it or when I want to release it. And so you can set a time release, and it goes out everywhere. He is talking about how to set one up in your home studio to play your live stream audio at the same time, I believe. And you'll have to clarify if that's how that works. Wow, that's interesting. Your Rodecaster Pro 2 died last night. Well, that's not reassuring for the rest of us because I'm live right now with my Rodecaster Pro 2, drinking coffee from my Batman mug. Sorry, David, that's a bummer. I would love to find out if they do the update or they fix it for you. What was maybe the cause? You might let us know tonight in the chat. But again, sorry to hear that. That's an absolute bummer. Good to have you here, David. David and I actually got a chance to do a conversation together. And he does he's hosting a Northwest fishing show. And I will try to get that, David, and a link onto that. Pretty interesting. You know, they just did a big bass tournament, not bass tournament, a big, I think, Chinook salmon tournament, or I think that's what it was, on the coast, not far from me, about 5 hours away. So I'll try to get a link to that, David, in the description tonight. He's just hosting that, but he's also doing the technology behind the scenes, and it's quite fascinating to watch other people do what I do here live. He does it. I believe yours is recorded. I think it actually was live too. So go check that out. And I will put a note in the description for this. Yeah, we did get lucky for sure. 2 fumbles. Obviously, defense caused those fumbles. But again, missing that kick and Russell not trying to get that fourth down conversion instead of kicking from so far was a break for us as well because they had timeouts. But if they hadn't got the first down, they would have turned it over with downs. And we tried on 4th down and missed a conversion. So, okay, so let me see. Awesome. Well, we should put this up. So good. Rodecaster Pro, a Rode is going to send you another one. That's awesome. Specifically with your influence and the subscribers and stuff you have, that's a smart move. But again, I've had great relationships with Rode every time I've dealt with them. And when I was having a hard time with my condenser microphone, I think it's at NTG3. It actually, they said they would send me a new one, and it turned out to be a loose wire, and I tightened that up, and it was perfectly fine, rather than sending it back. And again, because I had a studio before, I'm not afraid to open up a microphone and take a look, and it just had a little teeny tiny wire that was loose in solder, and so I was able to just take a touch of solder on there, and it fixed it. So I will try another frame of delay here. Lip sync delay. And evidently things are needing help here tonight. Okay, that should be 3. Let's try 4, and you can let me know what it sounds like here. And we'll go from there. Okay, without further ado, let's get into this box. So let me try, let's see, what am I gonna do here? I have Super Source ready. Let me see what's in box 2 here. I'm gonna switch over. Let's turn chat off the air. And let me switch over to camera 3. I'm gonna turn this off and back on again so it doesn't time out in the middle of our stream. And then I'm gonna switch over to my other microphone. Let's just do this. Let's lift this up. And then I will switch cameras right here now. Let's see. Super Source, sorry about that. I will get my act together here. Okay, so here we are. Let me move my Pop Keys keyboard out of the way. Let's put that here. Let me go to full screen here. You're gonna see it change right here just to look at the, it looks, what did I put up there? Wrong camera. Yeah, it looks like it's in focus. So let me go back to multi-view here. That just increases the size of my screen here on my monitor so I can see if I'm in focus. So I have my knife right, my trusty knife right here. So let's get the plastic off of this. And let me know if the audio is still good and if we're now in sync. I'm just gonna throw this plastic away. I guess you guys can watch that if you want to. Then I'll show you all the sides of the box here. Got a garbage can underneath my desk. Okay, here's the box. Here is the front. Here is the side. It shows you the whiteboard feature. I think this is showing it facing down on the desk, and then this is showing it doing the tracking feature. And it's an Insta360 camera, but it is called the Link. And it is a AI-powered 4K webcam. So they're touting their AI system, and we'll see how great that AI system is. And then here's the other side. It goes over some of the features. Let's look at this again. Yeah, I should have used a pocket knife, and but I decided that this would be more conversational. So this is a steak knife, and this is chewy like steak. So I'm gonna use the steak knife. We'll put that away. So again, this kind of tells you a little bit about it. 4K, 1/2 inch sensor, AI tracking, rapid focusing. Now, I do have a Facecam here, and it does not rapid focus. In fact, it doesn't have autofocus. You have to be between 1 and 4 feet away from that camera for it to work. And so I'm really excited about this camera being an option for me. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna use it to replace my Canon 5D Mark III, if I'm gonna use it to replace my Facecam. I don't know. We'll get it out of the box and we'll play with it and we'll find out. You've got whiteboard feature. You have gestures controls. You also have a noise canceling mic. So it's supposed to cut down background noise. And then you have a privacy mode, which is when the camera turns down at your desk when it shuts off. So it's not on you anymore. And if you know anything about webcams, most people either buy a cover for it. I have a cover here on my laptop that I purchased and stuck on. Or you want one, now they make a lot of laptops that have one that automatically has a little closing tool, but you don't want people to be able to access your camera if they can and see you, or it have it playing in the background and forget you have a Zoom call on or something. Okay, so the back just shows you some more of the deals. I mean, obviously what's in the box, you got the camera, you have a USB-C cable, you have a USB-C adapter. You also have a recognition markers that go on the whiteboard, and we'll look at those. You got a little starting guide and a warranty card. So without further ado, let's pull this out of the box. Ugh. There you go. And there is the camera. So you have a little packet here, and it's a whole big gigantic box. Still looks like that's pretty much in focus, and it's got a barcode. I'm sure that if I was to take my camera out and click on that barcode, it will then take me to the Insta360 site, so I can find out all the information and also download the software, I would think, if I did this on my computer. So we'll set that aside. Go back to tonight's stream so I can monitor the chat on that. Let's get back to the chat here real quickly. It's got to play the commercial before I go live. Okay, so I'll keep that over here so I can keep an eye on the chat. I'm glad you're laughing at my steak knife. I'm Joe. Okay, so inside this little box here, it's got a little adapt opening right there. We'll pull it out. Obviously, this is your USB-C cable. And like I said, I already have one hooked up here in my studio. So there's the USB-C. And it's USB-C on both sides. You can see it right there. A little bit better focused if I stay down on the table. And then also in here you have the adapter. And again, everything's in a package. And there it is. Now I do have these adapters that come with my Samsung little SSDs, but they have little nubs on them for things to line up. I have so many of them, I've cut one to be able to use. I'm really happy. I do not have one of these, so I'm excited to have a regular USB to USB-C. And again, I'll try to hold that down so it's in focus. And then when you reach down in the box, you have the pamphlet. Dump the rest of the stuff out. You can see the box is empty. We'll throw that over my shoulder. And inside the box, you have this little moisture reducer that can go in my drawer. You have the L stickers that go on the whiteboard, and we'll put those on here shortly. Then you have the warranty information right here, and warranty card. Set that aside, don't need that. And then you have the little Insta360 guide, and it is about 84 pages, believe it or not. And I'm assuming it's not all in English. Yeah, it's different languages right there. I'm going to set that aside, and then we will move this back over, and we'll pull this little camera out. So there you go. There's the size. You can see it in my hand, and it has a little plastic on this side to protect it, and it has one over the lens right there. And I'll set that on the desk so you guys can see it. You have the adapter right there to be able to put it in your desk. And then you also have a wrapper all the way around the side. So we're going to pull this little warning wrapper off. And then this unfolds so you can put this basically on a monitor, but it would go over top of the monitor. And then you would have the ability to use this on your regular monitor, so it can become a regular webcam. So we're going to pull these little plastic deals off. Pull it off the lens. So those are all off. And then I am going to plug it in, and we're going to see if this works, but I want to let you see what that looks like all the way around. Again, we'll try to keep down where my focus is. And I can probably change lighting right now just for a minute, give you a little bit more light from this side. and you can see that maybe a little bit better. Again, 4K sensor, 4K camera, but it's going to broadcast at 1080p, but that gives you the ability to have the zoom feature and all of that, and that becomes very important. And again, there's the little base that folds out, and USB-C port in the back. So now I'm going to plug it in my PC, and we're going to see how this works. So let's switch the lighting back and go back to me and the logo. And now I'm going to take my PC, and just to be safe, I'm going to unplug my Facecam for a minute. And we're going to plug this in, and it lights up immediately, goes through its calibration, and there we go. And so I am going to then set this up here on top of my Facecam, and we're going to see if we can get the picture on the screen here. So that's not going to work, so I just set it up on my PC, and now I'm going to switch to installing the software on my, or opening the software on my PC. So we're going to do that now. So please stand by. I'm going to change back to multi-view on the behind me, set this stuff behind me here real quick, get it out of the way, and bring my keyboard back over. Also set this down. And don't forget, we are going to be finding out what Joe sent me in this box here. We'll take a break here in a second from the Insta360, and we're going to dive into that box. So I should be able to go into my PC now. Please stand by. Now, there is a firmware update. I haven't done the firmware update. I'm going to have to do that later. I'm not going to do the firmware update tonight. But let's go in here. I'm just minimizing some windows. Move this just a little out of my way here. Type in Insta. Fire up the software. Now, I can't share my PC desktop yet, but I'm going to see if this camera is working here. I'm launching the software right now. And hopefully it won't lock up my PC that I'm using chat and everything else on. But that's what you do when you do things like this live. So let's see. I will get back in the chat here in a minute. Looks like it's opening up for the very first time, sensing the USB-C input. And I'm about to see if I have a camera. Please stand by. Okay. It is looking for the camera. And I'm glad that you thought that was funny, throwing over my shoulder. Okay, while that's booting up, I'm going to change microphones here for a second. So let me do that. Should have audio now. Wow, that is really hot. So let's turn that down on the live show. Check, test, 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 test. Let me know if the lapel mic is loud enough. I'm going to get up and put these markers on the whiteboard here. Still waiting for the software to open up. If it doesn't work there, we will try it on my PC. And so inside this package is these 4 little corners that you put on the whiteboard. And you put those on the whiteboard to mark the edges. So we're going to go do that. These are semi-permanent, so I'm not sticking them all the way on. Guess I would be using this whiteboard forever. Even though I may not be demoing that tonight, I wanted you guys to see that those go on there, so you can zoom back a little bit. So you can see the whiteboard, and now I have them on all four corners. And that's just a little bit of weird view for those of you that are on the channel all the time. See me do that. We'll flip the light back over to the normal lighting, so I don't look so weird in the camera. And I'm still not up and running. It's just doing the wheel of death here. So let's, it's telling me my Elgato webcam is not connected, so I disconnected that on purpose. Closing Elgato camera hub. See if I can get the Insta360 software to come up. It's good to have you here tonight, Tony. I see you here. I don't have my chat opened up right now. I am trying to bring into the live stream the Insta360 software on my PC. If that doesn't work, we're going to shift over to my laptop here and install the software, and you guys can watch me install the software on that. I've already installed it on my PC, but because I haven't had it out of the box, I haven't tested that Insta360 camera. Let me switch back to my regular microphone, being I'm over here. So that should be back to this microphone right here, and my lapel's off. Okay, so it's not booting up. I am going to try this again. Close the window. It's asking me if I want to stop this program, so I'm going to try to close it. Not sure why the link is not responding. It may be because I was using my Facecam and that software did not close down. So I'm going to try to reboot it again, or actually restart the Insta360 software. And we will see if that camera comes alive. Would be great if it did. And I might be needing to do the firmware. We'll look at that here in a second. While that's booting up, I will shift over. Let's see. Let's go to this view right here. So this is the information on the Insta360. So I can scroll us through here real quick while we're waiting to see if that'll boot up. These are basic features. It says, does the Insta360 Link support HDMI output? It does not. Does the Insta360 Link support Windows Hello? Insta360 Link does not support Windows Hello. How do I use gestures to control the function of Insta360? And it says, please check here and refer to the tutorial to adjust camera modes and settings using gestures. So there's a number of different gestures that you can raise, zoom in and zoom out by using your hand. You do this to be able to have it go into whiteboard mode. So there's a lot of different hand gestures available here. Method one, if there's a new firmware version available and you've installed and opened the Link controller software, you'll be prompted to update as soon as connected to the Insta360 Link. So again, I'm not even getting the Link software open yet at this phase. So, I can reboot my PC, but I think I'm going to try switching over to my laptop and see if I can get it to run there. So method 2 used included USB cable to connect to Insta360 Link to your computer. Now the cable I'm using is a high-end Rodecaster cable. I already had one, so it is top-notch. So it's big enough to handle the Insta360, but we could also switch cables as well here in a second. And then these are the different methods on how to update and install the Link's firmware. So if there's new firmware, it'll automatically tell you. Method 2, use the included USB cable to connect the Insta360 Link to your computer. Tap the touch key 3 times and check that the white light flashes, then press and hold the touch key for 5 seconds. Once the white light is continually illuminated, the camera will have entered update mode. And I believe, well, the camera came alive, so it is looking at me. So let's see if I have, and it's still kind of in not working mode, but it did look up at me. So it is detecting me, but for some reason, the software is not opening on my PC. So, okay, let's continue. So this is kind of the other way to update it. Do not disconnect the USB connection during the firmware update. I'm not doing a firmware update. How do I reset the Insta360? Double tap the touch key to reset Link to install state as when just switched on. And I didn't have to switch it on. Let me bring the camera back on the air here. The camera just came on as soon as I plugged it into my computer. So, but I do believe that there's 2 microphones here in the front. I can switch to this other camera view. Let's pause that. There are 2 little microphones right in the front, and they're also sound canceling. And I believe the touch area is in the front. You can see it woke up. It was facing down, but now it is facing forward, and the green light said let's go. But again, I'm not getting anything from the software, but that may just be user error. We'll see. So I'm going to set this back down here again. I'm going to bring it here on camera. See if we can get this thing to come alive, and it's still not. So let's go back here and finish this. Let's see, I think I moved all the way up. Okay, important. Then how to reset, we talked about that. Number 6, how do I use the whiteboard mode? In the whiteboard mode, Link allows the whiteboard to be keystone corrected, enhanced, and zoomed for a clear viewing experience. To activate whiteboard mode, stick the recognition markers included with the camera to each corner of your whiteboard. This mode can be activated via the gestures and in the desktop Link controller. So either in the desktop software or with motions once the camera is live. And again, it's not live now. I had to unplug it to relocate it. And I'll move that back a little bit further here. So it's still not. There you go. Even in this shot, we have the camera right there on the edge of this double. Okay, let's continue to scroll down here. What is AI tracking? Insta360 Link AI tracking detects the presence of people and tracks them as they move to keep them in the frame. The position, tracking speed, and frame size can be set via gestures and in the desktop link controller. So you actually have gestures to change how fast it moves and tracks you. Can you use Insta360 Link with the Link controller desktop software? And it says Insta360 Link can be used without link control software. Can you use it without? So you can use it with the software, without. And right now, so once I learn the gestures, if the camera's live and I can get it to wake up, then I'd be able to use the gestures and not have to use the Link software. Can the Insta360 Link power itself? Insta360 Link does not have a battery, and so it cannot power itself. So it's not battery powered. It literally has to be plugged into a USB-C powered port in order to get power, or just a USB-C port. And you can convert it to like the USB-A inputs, but you want to make sure that you have a powerful enough USB-C port in your laptop or your Mac or your PC that will give you the ability to use the camera. Okay, so how do you adjust Insta360 Link video settings? You can adjust the video settings such as white balance and brightness in the Link controller desktop software. Can Insta360 Link's gestures control functions be turned off? Yes, the gestures control functions can be turned off in the more settings in the controller software. So you can turn gesture settings off so you don't accidentally change it if you're using it as a sky cam. So lots of cool things. Question 12, where can I check the current firmware version? And I found that very easily right on their download site. But it says you can check the firmware version in the more settings section of the Link controller software. So even in the Link control software that's available for your PC or your Mac, you can check to see if the software is up to date. So question number 13, what are some of the scenarios in which you can use the Insta360? And it says Link, there's a great video on their channel, and I will show you guys their channel here real quickly. Let's see, one of these is their site. So let's switch to change box 2 here real quickly. So here is their site, and there's plenty of videos in here showing you how to use it for gaming. That's the chip size, going over the crystal clear 4K image, and all of these videos are available on their channel. And again, we're going to do our best to get this fired up so you guys can see it. Here's the tracking, and here's the desktop view, so it can actually keystone correct. So it doesn't have to be right above you. It actually will keystone correct, which I think is pretty amazing. And here he is giving gestures, and it's going to go into whiteboard mode like that. So a great camera. And then again, it'll shoot down on your desk, also go into privacy mode. So you could even use it as a teacher and draw on it. And it's pretty incredible. So again, you can do portrait mode as well, and face tracking. So you can see he's teaching and then going into whiteboard mode. So great little camera, and that is their website, which I think is pretty cool. So being that computer is not working, let me go like this. We're going to turn this off again. We're going to close that. So I'm going to unplug it. We're going to take the cable out, and I'm going to plug it into my laptop. We'll see if we can get it working on my laptop. So let's plug in the camera. Grab the adapter, USB-C to the regular input. I'm going to relocate this over a bit closer to my PC. Let's see, like that. And let me find the right output here to use this in. Did not have a second USB-C cable to set that up ahead of time, so I apologize. And so now let's do this. Let's go back to, let's see, what, multi-view, super source, okay. So let's go. That mouse is dead now. I had to steal a port. That's why I always have a backup mouse. Let me close the stream here. Okay, so let me switch here to this view right here. And now you can see that I'm going to install the software. Hopefully this will work this time. This is why you should do this when you're not live. So I think the software is installing. Yes. Okay. Accept. Next. Next. Create a desktop. Shortcut. Install. Also, you can see how simple it is to install the software. It's not super complicated, just getting it to work. Finished. Should ask me if I want to open the software. And again, I do have a lot of things. I have a Thunderbolt hub plugged in to my laptop, but there you can see the camera is on the screen. So click to turn on and off auto tracking. So it's got kind of a quick guide there. So there you go. Let's go. Let's just for right now, there's the gestures right here. Let me see if I can make this full screen. That didn't work very good. There we go. Wow. I don't think I have quite enough PC to take that full screen, but there is the auto tracking, zoom on and off, whiteboard mode. So as soon as you get on here, there is a list of features available. But again, there is the picture on my screen. So if I wanted to do auto tracking, it says put your palm up. So let me try that. And it flashed. And so now it is following me. Pretty cool. And then zoom is this hand gesture right here. So we're going to click on that. And people have tried this. It's kind of choppy. So that's not working that good. It's still not, it's not auto tracking me. There it goes. So it blinks 2 times when it's going to switch over to auto tracking. I know you guys can't quite see that. Let me see if I can bring this more into view here. There you go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into the other mode. I'm pretty close to it. So it should be in auto tracking now, which it is. So it flashes a couple times, and then now it's in zoom mode. So you can see it is zooming in and out with that touch, and it's still following me. And then whiteboard mode. I'm going to walk over to the whiteboard, so let me change cameras here. or microphones. And let's walk over to the whiteboard and try this V gesture and see if it can do that. Oh. That didn't work very good. So let's try that again. There you go. So I now could take my pen and I'm not quite sure how to get it out of whiteboard mode because I've never used it before. But there gives you kind of an overview. It's in whiteboard mode right now. So once you learn how to do that, you can do all those different hand gestures. And again, you have palm up for it to auto track. And I don't know exactly why it's not auto tracking. And I can turn whiteboard mode off. If you look here on the bottom of the screen, I can turn that off just by clicking on it. I can go back into tracking. And if I turn this back around where it sees me, let's see if it'll track me. Yeah, so it's tracking me again. And then you can go in here and turn on overlooking mode. So I'll show you that. So that's shot down. On the private mode, if it was overhead at an angle, let me turn that back off, then it would shoot down on the desk. So you do have to have it mounted sideways to get it to do that feature. So, and then I can go back into tracking mode, and now it's back in the tracking mode. So you can see how this is going to make a much better Skycam. If I want to move around the studio when I'm showing my Skycam, I can just very simply have this tracking me. And so there's the picture quality. And again, it looks pretty good. I mean, obviously I don't have light on this side of my face. So let's take the camera and let's move it over closer to my desk and see what it looks like compared to my regular shot. So we're going to, let's see, how can we do that? Let's move it right here into the center. And now you can do kind of a comparison. Let's change these boxes. Now, this is a Canon 5D Mark IV in the little box, and the big box that when I'm looking at the camera, this is the little Insta camera, the Link. Let's turn off these little boxes now so you can just see the camera. And let's make these more the same size boxes here. So let me go into Super Source. Let's see what size this box is. Let's make that a little bit smaller. Move it over. Then we'll go into box 1, Turn crop off. Gonna move that over. Maybe just a little bit bigger. Actually, you know what? Let's turn crop back on. Let's bring the bottom up. Bring the top down just a little bit. Let's shrink this. We'll bring this just a little higher. Still going to adjust for me. I like that. I like that it keeps me in the center of the camera. I don't like that, so let's change the crop again. Back up here, and we'll just move this box down a little bit. Over and down. So there's kind of the picture quality, the two heads side by side. It does keep my head center framed. I like less of a crop on the top of me, so you could change that by not having the auto the auto feature on. So if I turned auto off, keep my head down like this a little bit. Now that I turn auto off, then I have a better crop on my head in both of these. So there's a side-by-side comparison of the two cameras. And again, the color's similar, but not exactly the same. And because that camera is a little off center, it doesn't quite, see if I can get it a little bit more way the light's set up here. So that gives you a little bit of an idea. Now it's obviously in front of me and blocking my face. So now what I want to do in future live streams, is use this and compare it to my Facecam. And so we'll talk about that a little bit in a later stream, and I'll have the Facecam and the new Insta360 Link on the screen. But I think this, for the money, being a 4K sensor, the bigger chip, it's going to do better in low light. It performs pretty well in this room. I will replace it with my Skycam next week, so you guys can see how it performs as a Skycam, and I can turn with a hand gesture, face tracking on or off. Simply just hold up my hand, and that's going to flip to non-face tracking. And so I like that. And I like the fact that I would be able to adjust it by zooming in and out just by holding up my finger. Get it back into follow mode. And there you go. So you can zoom in and out, go back into follow mode, all with hand gestures. It's all, obviously it's intuitive and it takes a few seconds, but keep that in mind. So I think that's it with this tonight. I will leave it fired up here, but I'm going to change back to me and the logo, try to get this out of my way so that I can actually go into the chat. And I should be able to bring all my chat stuff back on the air here. Let's see if I can do that. Closing the link software that's still trying to stay open on my PC. Let me go back into... I'll unplug that later. Okay, so we are back. Let me make sure I'm on the right microphone and that I have chat on the air here. Go back to my PC. See if I can get chat on the air now. Chat on the air. Good to have you, New Rise. I think this is your first time here on the channel. And thank you for joining me tonight, joining us, and for chatting. Let's see if anybody else popped in the chat, and then I'll try to catch up with all the things that you guys have been saying. It's good to know the lip sync is dead on now tonight. So that's awesome. Let's go back and see if you guys have any questions. Try not to have the Insta360 that's moving around behind me to distract me. Okay. So just check it real quick through the chat. I'm going to start at the end and go back here. Cool. It's good to have you here, and it is your first time, so thank you so much for joining us. We talk about live streaming tech here as well as other things, and if you join the post show next week, you'll see some other talents that I have and some fun that we do in the post show, and it's every other week normally, but I was out of town, so we'll postpone that till next week. Thank you, Hank. It is a brave thing to do and try to test these things live. But again, it's the same process, but you have an audience. So if I had someone in here hanging out with me and doing it, it would have been the same trial and error process. And again, I think because I already had my PC fired up with the Facecam, that's why it didn't want to work, but my laptop was capable of making it work. Again, I have lots of things plugged in my laptop, and we still got that 4K camera USB to work, which is pretty exciting, and it'll be fun to see how it works inside the studio here. So, okay. And Freddie, you're probably right. The Skycam days of the Elgato Facecam is over. The Facecam is by Elgato. It does not have autofocus, but it's a very good quality webcam. You can buy it now. There's a link below. I think it's on sale now on Amazon for $169 around there. I paid over $200 for mine. And so it's a great camera. So you just have to be between 1 and 4 feet for it to get any kind of focus. And it's not really good for writing on your desk. So keep that in mind, but it's a great Skycam or a webcam if you're doing Zoom calls and things like that. It will perform better than the other 720p and 1080p webcams because it's got a Sony chip inside it that does really well. It's the same chip they use in a lot or have used in a lot of security cameras over the years. But where this chip in the new Insta360 outplays that chip is it's bigger than most webcam chips, plus it's a 4K sensor, which really helps you get a quality picture, and then it's only showing 1080p, and anytime you start with a bigger frame and lots of pixels and then shrink it down, you end up with a better image. So owning a 4K camera and using the HDMI clean out and then having the ATEM Mini line or the new rack-mounted lines by Blackmagic Design, the ME2 and the ME4, those then will bring it down to whatever you have your settings at, which they're all HD, so that's 1080p. You'll have a really nice picture if you start with 4K and then go down to 1080p. Okay, well, I don't want to go too far because I know Joe's super excited about us opening his box, and there's lots of chat here. Tech for Fun, which is Joe, says, I think the zoom works better if you put your hand front of your face with the gestures. That could be true. So if I could get it on my face, let me turn face tracking on to get it over here. Do I have a mouse that works now? Come on, guys. Where are you? Yeah, there we go. Face tracking on. Get it over here, turn it off, and now let's hold my hand above my on my face. I actually didn't go into that mode until I kind of held it down, so I'm not really sure. I'll have to play with trial and error. You guys aren't seeing that. Do I still have it live? Yeah, I can go like this. Try it again here. So let's turn it off. And then I'll try this again. There's in front of my face. I don't know what's going on here. It is off. Now it's on. So maybe it's just holding it out a ways, but you can see face tracking is on now. So not sure what is causing that to work and what is causing it not to work. That was Freddie. Yeah, side by side with the DSLR, it is pretty good. So again, it's a 4K sensor. It should be good. Obviously, every sensor is different. I don't know what the manufacturer is. I haven't done any research or if there's even any information online about that, Tony, but I appreciate you bringing that up, and it does look good. No, I didn't see the trucks. TVJ works in the TV industry, and I don't know if that's the mini trucks. Maybe you can type out what MNF stands for, but again, they broadcast, it was Monday Night Football, so I wasn't, that's probably a part of the building outside where we don't get to see it. I walked up in the main entrances. You can go in like a 45. I don't know if there's a back entrance where all the trucks were parked, but I did not see any trucks at the Seattle Seahawks game in Seattle last night is what TVJ is talking about. I'm glad that you like when I read to you. He's making fun of... David says, time for a new PC, laugh out loud. Actually, my PC has an i9 processor, 32 gigs of RAM. I don't know what's going on, but I am doing chat in it, and who knows, maybe it's just the fact that I need to reboot once I load that software. I am going to do the firmware update tonight on the 360 cam. I'm going to be playing with it tonight because I have literally been waiting for a while to unbox it. So, okay, let's clear that. One more look, and then we're going to go on. And that was, Joe is the one that said, I think it works better if that's in front of your face. It looks like I never displayed that, Joe. So we will clear that off the air. Again, lots of stuff in the chat. This will all replay. Again, thanks for joining, Tony. I did see that you joined us, and I appreciate having you as always. Okay. Let's do this. Let's get into this now. And I think I have a camera view here that's going to work. I'm going to change to camera 1. And I'm going to change my lighting. You guys can look at my back for a second. I'm going to change microphones here. Let's do this so you guys can see me before I change this. I'm changing microphones now. If I can find a mouse that works. Let's go to the lapel mic. So I'm on the lapel mic now. I can turn this around here, but I don't want to use that. So we're going to open that box now. So let me get out my trusty steak knife. Switch cameras here. You guys should have me on this camera. Drop to my phone. I'm pulling camera cables down. It's not the best lighting. I apologize, guys, but I wanted you to see me better tonight. It doesn't look that good, but let me know. I think I can bring this light up. A little brighter. Okay, let's see what Joe got me. You guys should have good audio. Find out what's in here. Drum roll, please. Again, this box was sent to me from Joe. He was Conjoling Technologies. You can see earlier in the chat that he's tech for fun now. Try not to cut the box. And wow, there's lots of goodies in here. I'm going to probably have to send money for the next couple of months, but let's do something that's in a box that I can see right now. This is a HDMI KVM switch. And I don't know if you just shut down, Joe, your channel, but here is the KM switch. So that is really cool. So you've got USB in cat right here, and then long cables. And I don't know a lot about this particular switch, Joe, so I'm gonna we'll yield to that. We'll talk about it later on the live stream. Let me set this over. Got a little package here that he gave me, and let's unzip this and see what's inside. My goodness, what does it say? This is a Epic Air Bluetooth sports earbuds with secure comfort hooks. So I've got some earbuds in here. Joe, you're too kind. And there they are. Not a very good light there. Let's flip this around. And show that this way. So there's that. Here's that KM switch. So it's got the HDMI side on this side, USB on this side. I'm pretty sure that this will, does this convert USB-C 2.0 to HDMI? So let us know in the chat, Joe, and I'll catch up on the chat here in a minute. That would be super cool, by the way. Okay, let's see what else is in the box. This is all bubble wrapped. Man, incredible. I need to get my steak knife out again. Was this designed for me to have hard to get it into it, or just to keep it safe, Joe? It's cool. Okay, let's see what this is. Wow, it's a Roll and Go Mixer Pro. So this must have been stuff that you were using in your studio. And then this is a Zoom U22. So again, you have a single input, and then you can convert to, or you actually, it looks like you have USB out. So this is a baby interface, and you can also bring in right and left traditional stereo. So if you wanted to bring in, for instance, a source like a CD player or anything like that, you could even take a VHS tape and then bring it into your recorder and record that. So let's say, for instance, you wanted to take a cassette played, old cassette, and you wanted to bring it in and make it digital. You could use this, and you would bring in the player through this, and then you would use this as an interface, correct your volumes, and you could record that real easy. So thank you, Joe. It's crazy. And again, this is a roll-in interface as well. It's got mic input there. I'm not sure what this side is. USB-C back, or USB back here. It's the older plug. A guitar input right here. On the front, you have a monitor out, 1/8 inch, and then you have line ends over here, 1 and 2. And I'm sure that that is probably other inputs, and then a mono and a right there. So a guitar and bass. So this is another little roll-in interface. I've never used one of these before. Set this down, see what else is in the box. Then we have this. Again, plenty of tape. Flip this around. We'll open this up on the better camera. Just because all my lighting's set up this way, it looks much better. Again, I got to get out my steak knife. And again, this is all Joe's doing. Tony reached out to me and told me this was going to happen, and Joe did. And I don't know, Joe, again, if this is from your studio, but in here, I have like a handy dandy little kit. It looks like I got some little screwdrivers in here, HDMI cable, an inland 5.25 volt, 2.4 micro USB wall power supply, some micro SD cards. It must be for drone. And then, wow, a Raspberry Pi. Are you serious? That's really cool. If you don't know about Raspberry Pi, you can actually run
your Stream Deck off a Raspberry Pi so it stays on all the time. Aaron Preki does that. Lots of people probably here on the channel are using a Raspberry Pi, so that's what the little micro SD card would be. So that is really cool. And then the HDMI out. So this may be for that. I don't know, Joe, you'll have to email me more details of what you were kind of thinking with this, and I may need some help. But that's really cool. Thank you. It's almost embarrassing. It's like Christmas here. And it's not. This is September. So, wow. So I'm going to set that down. And then I've got more stuff in here, believe it or not. Let's switch cameras one more time. Change the lighting one more time. Boost that light one more time. I have this little mini tripod, and I do not have one like this. I have a longer one, so that's really cool. That'd have been a great tool to put up that USB camera somewhere, or even on my PC. So thank you for that, Joe. That's totally cool. Also in here is another little wrapper. Let's see what's in this. Wow. That's all I can say is wow. Okay, we will turn around again, change the lighting. It's good to have a Stream Deck to switch the lighting. And inside this is a fast charger, so I can set my phone on my desk and charge this. I don't have one of these anymore that will charge my new iPhone Pro. So that's cool. That will be right here on my desk to be able to charge my iPhone, and it fell down on the floor tonight. So thank you for that, Joe, as well as the cable. Okay, one more time in the box. And the last thing it looks like in the box is something that says Shure. Let's turn around again. I think this is going to look better this way. And that's exciting. I'm a Shure fan. So let's see what is in here. Joe, I don't know what you're doing here, but maybe you just want me to unbox all this stuff and then send it back to you when you need it again. So inside here is a RigViews location sound, a Bible. So basically what you need to know about location sound, that will go in my library. I have a lot of books from when I had my recording studio. I do not have this one, so we will keep that. And then also a bunch of things in here. I don't know, it got a lot of power supplies. So let's see what's in here. We'll open one of these up. Everything is so secure. Way better than Amazon would do. I don't know if I can get this out of here at any time. Talk about live pressure. I don't want to cut it or damage it. But man, I'm telling you what, you outdid yourself on the packaging, Joe. Here we go. Oh wow, this is really cool. Look at that. This is a free world monitor. Looks like 7-inch, and it's got a place for an MP battery on the back, and has HDMI out here somewhere, right there, HDMI out. And I'm just looking on here, different modes, and we'll have to fire this up in another show, but you have the power cable. I'm sure that's what the power cable is. So I'm going to set this one down. Almost looks like another one right here. It is. This is, I don't know if this is the same model, Joe, or not. I'm going to just look here real quick. 759V. Oh, this is 344 model number, so we better do our due diligence and open that as well. I don't want to cut the monitor, so I'm going to have to go from the back side here. I don't know if I can get into this safely. There we go. I was able to just tear that. Another free world monitor. So, man, Joe, if you're trying to build a studio and take me to another level, that is really cool. So 2 of those. Two more deals in the box. This is a little interesting device. Let's tear into this. I found if I can put a hole, then I can get my finger in there and this will tear. And this looks like a little portable on-camera monitor with a mount. So I'm trying to get it out of here without breaking it. So there you go. This is a little, also MP battery on the back, a little tiny monitor, and has a DC out. This actually has a headphone out, and has an HDMI through, HDMI in, HDMI out. And again, this is a free world little monitor, and it looks to be like about the same size as my cell phone screen. It seems to be a little wider, but that's really cool. Again, thank you, Joe. Also, there's a USB cable in that box, so no Shure microphones, but there's some pretty cool monitors in there. And then this is the last one. We'll dive into that, and then I'll check the model number once I get it out of here. Last thing in the box, lots of bubble wrap. I have enough bubble wrap to send you back something special. So this is ends with 429, so model numbers are a little different. Let's see, 4229, 54229. This is 7-inch, this is 7-inch, and this one is 5344. So I don't know what the difference is, but that'll be exciting to check those out. And then again, I got all the power cords to go with those. So Joe, that's amazing. I am totally, completely blown away. I'm beyond words honored. Sorry, my lapel microphone is hot. So let's get rid of that real quick. Apologize, that looked hot. And I'm talking loud too. So when I get excited, my volume goes up. So man, Joe, thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed that Insta360 camera display tonight, unboxing, and doing our best to set it up with some hand gestures. Joe, I don't know exactly why you aren't going to be doing Conjoling Technologies anymore, obviously, but I hope in the future you will be doing some videos on your channel. I'd love to put a link below and invite people to that. But if not, if you're taking a break, I understand that. There's times where it'd be nice to focus on some other things like photography. I do spend about a day every week on this live stream, and the benefits are meeting people like you, these relationships. And now, look, I mean, if you were trying to shower on me blessings, Joe, you did a great job. And please don't feel anybody like you need to send me gifts. I do a free 1-hour consult. If you have never taken advantage of that and you're in my live streams, I would be happy to do a 1-hour consult with you. I tell people, if they ask me, well, why would they do a 1-hour consult? It's usually to talk about live streaming or maybe how to use social media to increase your influence organically. I don't do training on retargeting on Facebook or Google AdWords. My focus is on building things like this, using social media to increase influence for either your business or your own personal podcast or live stream. And I also can teach podcasting, live streaming, and things like that. And so I consult part-time, and I am with one client right now, 3 to 4 days a week. So I'm get busy these days, but I still try to find time for those 1-hour free consults because I love meeting people, especially people that find me on social media or here on YouTube. Again, I am Keith. This is Life Journey Production Studios. I hope if you're watching either live or later that you will subscribe and ring the bell if you'd like to get alerts when my next video goes live. I'm very close to having my other video done on the Light Chaser kit by Polar Pro. So watch for that here. I'm just, all I have to do is add
the ocean footage that I shot with the different filters on, and then add the graphics to what filter I'm using. So I hope you'll check that out here on my channel. We will talk more about the Insta360 Link camera when it's working live. And we'll see what else that we're going to do. I'm still working update on my Part 107 license for my DJI Mini 3 Pro. And so I hope you'll watch my short video here on the channel. And I will be doing more videos on the DJI Mini 3 Pro once I have the ability to post footage and things like that on my channel, because I need a Part 107 license to do that. So we are going to again have a post show next week. We're going to talk chat here in just a minute. So let me make sure my PC's live. We'll put chat back here on the air, clear this, and we'll finish up with any questions or comments. Let's go back here. Let me just look through Joe's as an Amazon employee, keep the camera if you have been refunded. I probably would still, if I'm going to bill that to my client, I will probably then reach out to Amazon and pay for that. I don't really want to take that from Insta360 because that's the online store that I bought it from, and it was lost by an Amazon shipping company. So, but I appreciate that, Joe. Let's go back through here, see if Joe added any input. Great to have you here, Bill. It's been a while, I think, since I've seen you. I like that you have a preview screen showing you what the camera sees. I don't think that OBS bought it. Tiny does, or Tiny does that. I guess not quite sure what that meant, but I do get that I have the preview screen for the camera. Yeah, Zoom is not tracking. I think with Zoom, you have to be a little further away. FYI. Monday Night Football. Okay, so the trailers, MF is Monday Night Football. I did not see those trailers. So Joe says that's a KVM switch over the Cat 5, so you can control a PC from afar. Oh, cool. I'll have to do some research and check that out. So that's a full Raspberry Pi kit, everything I need. Wow, thank you, Joe. My goodness, if you want to know what I look like when I'm a bit embarrassed and overwhelmed, here you go. So snap a picture, get a still. So funny. Thank you so much. I've been thinking about getting a Raspberry Pi. It's a little over my head, but I think some of you guys have videos on how to do that, so that will be really cool. Yeah, so a streaming bridge Raspberry Pi, what is that? Tony says now I can build one. I have a streaming bridge by Blackmagic Design. What you can do with a streaming bridge is you could plug it in another part of your house on your network, and then I could broadcast to it. So let's say my wife wanted to watch my live stream on the TV in the living room. All I have to do is plug the streaming bridge by Blackmagic Design, which I own, into a cat cable in my network, and then I can stream directly to it. Now, what I can't do is stream to it and live at the same time, which I'm doing tonight. I'm not recording, as you can see tonight. So that is the unboxing of the Insta360 camera. I will download that from YouTube and clip that and put it on my channel. But with that said, I can then stream to it if I want to take my A10 Mini Pro and stream directly to it. So I could come out of my Extreme ISO, send one of the two HDMI outs to my A10 Mini Pro, and then I could use the A10 Mini Pro to stream to the streaming bridge in this house. The other thing you can do with a streaming bridge is stream remotely. So if Tony had a streaming bridge in his studio, which I think Tony does have a Raspberry Pi there, or ability for me to stream directly to him, then I could send a signal directly to a Raspberry Pi through different software. I can't, that I know of, go from an A10 Mini Pro to a Raspberry Pi, but I believe that I can I could stream directly to a streaming bridge. But what Tony is saying tonight is that I can create a streaming bridge Raspberry Pi and then use it with any software. Could stream to it. So again, that's exciting. I did not cut myself with a knife. Joe has given us the reason why. I wanted to donate to your channel, and I appreciate that so much. I will be using those cameras. I also will probably use one of them with a mobile kit that I have that will go to some of the remote locations I go to. So that's exciting. And many times I have more than one camera set up, and I will probably take one of those as other confidence monitors. And I like the little one to use possibly with my gimbal instead of taking my 5-inch port keys down that I use on this camera every week. So thank you again so much, Joe. And I hope you guys will all say something nice to Joe from donating to my channel. That's totally cool. Thank you. Lots of entertainment, lots of ribbing. I earned it is what you're saying because you tease me a lot. Thank you, Hank. Yes, Christmas did come early. Thanks to this channel and you guys and your support and the humor, I'm sure that is pretty incredible to be here tonight. So, okay. Let's see, where am I at? I moved the chat here. I am on Hank's chat. I'm getting down here close to the end of this chat. Okay, so everything in that Ziploc is what I need to get going with the Raspberry Pi. So this is everything I need to get going with the Raspberry Pi. So again, thank you so much, Joe. That's pretty cool. Tony says you're a great human and super funny. That's cool. So you made an impression on Freddie as well as me. Let's see. Good to have you here, Kevin, again. Thank you, David. So many goodies. Yeah, I had a DJI Osmo, or have a DJI Osmo Pocket, and it does remind me, it's almost the same size. It's at an angle right now, but it's almost the same size as my little gimbal. So yeah, it's very, very much looks like that. I'll have to compare them side by side in next week's live stream because I do have the original DJI Mini or Pocket, and it's a little handheld gimbal. And the newer one has a little thumb deal to go sideways in every way. The old one has an up and down scroll wheel. And when you flip the switch, it will go, even though you're going up and down, it will go side to side. And it does have face tracking if you hook a camera or a phone to it. So that's the DJI Pocket. And again, it will shoot 4K and do time lapse, motion time lapse, hyperlapse. It's pretty cool. Obviously, DJI has added that technology recently to their drones, hyperlapse, and that's pretty cool. Thank you, Tony. I'll need your help on the Raspberry Pi. You can also make a Raspberry Pi into an RTMP server, which is another way to send video over the internet and probably a little bit more common than the way Blackmagic Design is sending it. Same concept, but just obviously a different way of getting it across the internet. And I know that TVJ will tell you that they do a lot of signal sending through internet and also other ways as backup systems when they're broadcasting. You can also receive streams, DJ Ware says, on a Pi and push it into the HDMI ports. That's exciting because then I could be a part of the club and come into a RTMP stream with you guys like I saw you do on both Tony's DJs and the old not QuickTech Solutions, but the old Conjoined Technologies channel with Joe. And it's a Pi 4, which is awesome. Thank you so much. DJ Ware was assuming it was a Pi 4. Yeah, and if I don't use something, thank you, Joe, for permission to give it away. I haven't given anything away yet, but I have often thought about getting some gear, and when I find it that someone's done with it, I'm using it maybe to help some of the people that I help get started with their channels, because that's one of the things I have a passion for, is people getting online and streaming. So obviously, if it's something I don't want, I appreciate that, Joe. Tony, yes, I have a Pi that I set up and received RTMP streams, followed AP's video, was pretty simple to do. Yeah, Tony, if you know where that is, if you send me a link via email, that would be awesome. The Pi can also be used to receive SRT, which is, again, another way to stream over the web, the internet. Okay, but do you know a way to move 13 audio pre-outs over Ethernet, question mark. It's for my home theater processor, Denon 6700. I don't know personally how to send that over. I know that inside venues, they can send signals over Ethernet. I wonder if there is ability to send it over the web like a video signal. I know that audio over Ethernet is possible. It can be embedded in those signals. Again, that technology is a little bit over my head, but I do know that fiber is now being used in some of the venues that I work with to send video signals over. It has very little of any latency whatsoever. And audio can be sent over CAT. I had, in my original studio, it was set up that I could send signals to monitors throughout my studio via Cat6. I had a matrix that would do that. So if I wanted to play a video and a DVD and send it to everybody, or have a single camera in my studio facing the people that were recording, I could send that into my family room. The original idea was to be able to have, I didn't have a waiting room. So I was trying to figure out if I was recording a band, could I have them sit in my living room and see and hear everything that was going on in the studio without trying to cram in my small recording studio. But my wife obviously didn't want people inside the house, because I designed my studio to be completely separate from the house. It had its own entrance, even though it was under the square footage of my house, behind my new garage and inside the house. And it had an access door into my bathroom. My wife could lock the other bathroom door so that no one could get into the house if she wanted to. So anyway, I'm not sure exactly how to do that, but I do know that Dante is the code or the way that's sent, and that's about all I know. And the software version, DJ Ware says, is for Dante is $35. Now they're talking about the licensing. So yeah, I think that's caught up, right? Yes, the Pi can be set up for SRT. It wasn't very stable, so I opted for the hardware SRT decoder. Yeah, and there's actually decoders out there for hardware that you can buy that are designed specifically. And I've looked at those as well. Raspberry Pis are little mini computers, and so you can use them. So I'll try to figure out exactly which way I'm going to go with this, but thank you so much. I'm for that, and I would like to kind of join your guys' club and be able to attempt to do some of that video over there. Even though you still got to kind of use Zoom to do the audio, it would be nice for us to find a way to send video and audio over the same channel and have it sync up. And that probably takes a device that you can change the frames, like Blackmagic Designs. You can delay the frames so that my voice catches up or slows down to match my lips, and that's what we did tonight. I have 4 frames of delay set so that my audio will match my lips, and that's what we adjusted live tonight. So, okay. And here's that KVM switch. It's cool because you can send keyboard, mouse, and HDMI over Cat6. And Focusrite Red is a interface for audio, and Focusrite makes really good audio interfaces. They have really good A to D converters, and if you don't know what A to D conversion is, it's digital to analog, vice versa. So D to A to D conversion can go either way. So A would be analog, D would be digital. And remember that analog can peak and sound cool. It's called, it can go over 0, where digital, you don't want to go over 0 or it sounds horrible. So amplifiers are designed specifically to give you that incredible breaking up sound, and that all happens above 0. But if you try to do that in the digital realm, you can't go over 0. So analog is the way to go with an amplifier, even though there are digital pedals and things out there that can do effects, but you want to try to stay in the analog realm and put a microphone on those amps if you really, really want that amazing sound that you can get with lead guitar by allowing things to break up above 0 volume. So anyway. Okay, well, guys, it's been, I was out late last night. I'm very exhausted today, so I hope that you guys will give me some grace and we'll wrap this up. It's been almost 2 hours of a live stream tonight. It's 10 till. I hope you enjoyed the Insta360 Link Camera unboxing and a little demo. We'll play more with that in the future. I'm excited to have it as an addition in my studio. And I think that there's some legitimacy now to the quality of the picture and what you can do with a webcam. So if you're thinking about going live, you may just want to get an Insta360 Link. And also, again, shout out to Joe for sending me that box of goodies, the Raspberry Pi, the monitors, the KVM switch, all of those things. I'm going to have a good time looking at that stuff up close this week. And we'll talk maybe a little bit more about what I discovered in the live streams next week. So we'll be back at 4 o'clock next week for our regular live stream. And then we're going to do a post show, and we should have fun with both of those. The live show will be about 1 hour and 15 minutes next week. And then the post show, anywhere from 45 minutes to 1.5 hours, depending on what we have to talk about. So, okay, let me take one last look at the chat before we say goodnight. Looks like you guys are just talking back and forth. I apologize if I missed anybody tonight. Everyday Jay, I see you. So, cool. I think that's an alter ego for Jay. So correct me if I'm wrong. You're welcome, Freddie. I appreciate you being here. Xavier, thank you for joining us tonight. I just spotted you. And yes, the Insta360 can zoom. So you have a zoom feature here on it. I will cut back to that as we end up here. So here's that camera. Is it already in face tracking mode? So I can turn on face tracking mode. I have to find a mouse here that's working. Here's face tracking mode. You have a whiteboard mode, which I won't turn on right now. An overhead mode, which will just take this camera and face it down. What do you guys have on the screen here? Sorry about that. Let's try this. Much better. So face tracking, and then it will zoom. So in the software, let's change what you guys see on the screen here. So let's go back to me and the teleprompter, and then I'm going to switch something in the settings here real quick. You guys can obviously see the chat on the screen, but I'm going to change the input to my desktop here. So you have all of these settings down here. You even have the video quality here. You could do 4K. Here's what 4K looks like if I switch to it, if it'll let me do 4K. So that's the 4K picture. But obviously, if you're going to broadcast, you probably will do 1080p. I'm broadcasting through my ATEM Mini, so that 4K signal on my screen is being resent out 1080p. But if you were in my studio, you'd be seeing a 4K signal over there. So you can change the settings here. You can even go 720p for whatever reason you'd want to do that. And other choice is 1080p. Then over here you have a screenshot, so I could click a screenshot. So just saved a screenshot to a file somewhere, and it looks like I could go into a record mode, and I could instantly record what's on there, and you can see it is recording me now, and that will go into a folder in the Logitech, the 360 Insta folder that it created when it created that. So I'm going to hit stop. And then over here you have some controls. So I can preset positions. I can zoom in and out right here. And that's supposed to also be a hand gesture to do that. And then I have the ability to toggle things around right here. But I got to turn off face detection, but it shows me that I can do that. That's pretty cool. So I will play more with these other controls on my screen, and we'll see what else this little baby can do in future videos. So again, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I am Keith. This is Life Journey Production Studios. You guys are amazing to join me tonight. I will comment as we're going out on some of these final chats if there's anything there. Again, I hope you'll join me again next week at 4 o'clock for the live show. And then after that at 5:15, 5:20, the post show. And until then, I hope you guys have an amazing week. Stay safe. And Joe, a special thank you to you tonight for that beautiful box of goodies. I will enjoy them a lot. So until next week, have a great week, and I'll see you then. Peace.